Is calling 2025 CR 012326 State versus Austin Rodriguez. Can I have parties announce? And also 2025 CR 012329. And for the defense?
Good morning, Judge Alfonso Cabañas for the defendant, Austin Rodriguez.
And are you Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so did he enter a plea only on the unlawful possession?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So according to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 8 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. State is opposed to the application, and they will take in consideration 2025 CR 012326. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report and TAP evaluation? Any objections?
We have, Your Honor, there's no objections from defense counsel on the PSI or the TAP evaluation.
All right, state you're opposed. Any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any witnesses?
Judge, my client would like something to say to the court, but as far as any additional witnesses, none.
All right, could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you're gonna need to keep your voice up so that the court reporter can hear and I can hear.
Okay.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Mhm.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Rodriguez, you know why you're here this morning, correct? We're asking the court to grant your application for probation, is that right? Yes, sir. Now, the court knows and you are aware that you previously had been given deferred adjudication, correct? Yes, sir. And those two deferreds had been revoked. Yes, sir. Please tell the court, Mr. Rodriguez, why this time your application and your desire to be in probation is different.
A long time ago. I didn't understand two things that I do now, and that's that time is short. Two of the most important people in my life passed away. One very recently. The audience right now is my mother and my sister. My mom doesn't depend on me so much, but she really needs my help. I had a lot of momentum going before I came here. I don't want to lose that momentum. I'm willing to take any number of years of probation, keep me out there, for I can keep momentum that I have going. Because I'm 36 years old. I'm not getting any younger. The people that truly care about me are starting to fall off. And I know that I messed up twice some years ago. But it's like every year it's a little faster. And I don't have so much time to live with them. I'd like to do it out there.
Mr. Rodriguez, in reviewing the PSI, you are aware that should the court grant your application for probation, probation has recommended you do several outpatient treatment programs. Right, and it's my understanding that you've agreed to do those programs?
Absolutely.
Okay. You also asked the court that you'd be open to living on probation, a lengthy probation. You are aware that the maximum term that the judge could impose for probation is 10 years.
Sure.
Okay. And finally, also to make you aware that if court were to grant your application, any violation, however slight, would, make you.
This is where the defense makes its strongest push. Notice what they're doing. They're framing probation as structured accountability, not freedom. Outpatient treatment, strict supervision, long-term monitoring. This is essentially saying, Judge, don't see this as leniency, see it as rehabilitation with guardrails.
Place you under arrest and then bring you here for.
Absolutely.
Okay. You can be sentenced to prison. Okay. Now, as far as helping your mother and your sister who are here, tell the court a little bit more about why they need your help specifically.
So one of the people that passed away recently was my mom's mom. She stayed at home with my sister. She's autistic and epileptic. She has intelligent maybe a 5-year-old. She's there by herself sometimes. When I was there, it was a lot different. Actually, right before I came here, it was New Year's Eve. Somebody set a firework off in the backyard, off the yard. And when I went downstairs to get some water, my sister looking out the window and all the smoke. Just oblivious to what was really going on. Had I not been there, would have been through the fire. Stuff like that scares me every day. Just a lot on my mother. She does a lot. Can't explain that short amount of time.
That is your mom's residence where you would reside should the court grant your application?
Probably not, but I will be there, frequently to check up on them, make sure everything is okay. I think my sister will go with me there, but, I wouldn't be for maybe 5 minutes.
Okay, but you already have a place to stay?
Yes.
Okay. In addition to your mom and your sister, is there anybody else who depends on you? Or any other family members that depend on you?
As a dependent, no, but, as family, sure.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, state.
Yes, I have very brief. I'm for because my name is Lorna Snow's, I'm a prosecutor for the state. You stated you probably would not reside with your mother. Will you be living alone?
No,
No, who will you be living with?
my girlfriend.
Are there children in the home? Okay. Are you currently employed?
Yes, sir.
What are you doing?
I operate machinery for the Cherokee owns and operates the tractor,
How long have you been doing that?
since 2018, so
And you're aware that you're here because of cases made.
absolutely.
Given that we're here, you chose to operate that motor vehicle on off the state highway. Yeah, so you know that's a violation of the law, and you made that choice, right? And when you were frisked by the officers, they felt a lump in your pocket, correct? And it turned out to be suspected drugs, right? And then they located a firearm in the center console. Whose firearm is that?
I mean, it was given to me by the guy who owns the scrapyard, but, I don't know who owns it.
Okay, you didn't think that was suspicious, you didn't know who the owner was, but you chose to possess the firearm legal?
If you neglected to tell me after pushing him to no, which I didn't, maybe, but, no, I didn't.
Did you ever become aware that the firearm was stolen?
No, I didn't become aware of firearm belonged to, somebody who had gotten in trouble for a bunch of firearm. This was later on after I'd already got.
No further questions.
All right, any other questions?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, any objections to the court asking questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So when you were revoked the first time for a possession case, do you remember why you were?
A gun in the vehicle, suspected drugs, driving without a license. That's not one bad decision. That's what courts often call a pattern of escalating risk factors. You can almost feel the judge mentally stacking each fact like bricks on a scale. And every new detail makes probation look less like an opportunity and more like a gamble. At this point, the courtroom energy shifts hard.
Revoked?
28, and I didn't really care what was going on. That was whenever I lost the first person that I cared about. Just negligence. I was young and dumb.
No, I mean, what allegations? Well, usually when they revoke you, they'll say, we're revoking you because you didn't report, because you're testing positive or something.
I was so lost in this Australian house.
All right, and then you had so that was a possession case and an unauthorized use case. I'm assuming since they have the same dates that those will probably ran concurrently. All right, and then in 2021, you had the evading arrest detention with a vehicle. All right, so on that one, I'm assuming there was no probation, you were just sentenced.
That one I did because I had literally 2 weeks left to parole. I just freaked out. I go to work with.
All right, so this is what I'm going to tell you. I've been a defense attorney. Sometimes I'll see things, police pulling somebody over just because, They don't have a license plate or a traffic offense, like officers are allowed to pull people over, right? Even if they just pulling you over because they want to see other things, right? But the issue with you is they pull you over for no license plate in the front. Then it turns out you're driving without a license. Then you have a gun in the vehicle, and then you have drugs. Those are my issues. I just don't think you're a good candidate for probation. I understand the other issues you have that you're saying that's going on in your life, but I just don't think you would be a good candidate. So I'm going to find you guilty. What I can tell you is, well, before I say this, let me hear the parties argue for amount of time.
Mr. Rodriguez has already done a trip for 3 years, he did 9 months in state jail in 2 years. It seems that those amounts are not enough to prevent and deter Mr. Rodriguez from continuing on his choices in this course of action. So we just have to.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, I would ask for the minimum of 2 years in TDC. It's evident from his testimony that Mr. Rodriguez has admitted guilt to this offense. He is taking responsibility. He also let the court know through answering to the state's questions that he made a poor choice that evening. He didn't minimize it or he didn't withdraw from responsibility. He did say that he made a poor choice and obviously he's regretting it because he knows that his time with family gets shorter and shorter as the years go by. I have talked to his girlfriend. I can confirm, and also the PSI, that he does have very much family support. And so I don't think that once he gets out of prison, I don't believe that he'll fall or make poor choices anymore. I think he's obviously learned his lesson. So I'm asking the court to sentence him to 2 years in TDC.
All right, this court is going to do, the court is going to find you guilty, sentence you to a $2,000 fine, time and money run concurrent. Take in consideration 2025 CR 012326. I'll give you credit for any time served. I'll recommend the therapeutic community. I don't have jurisdiction to place you in that program, but it will show on the judgment that I'm requesting that you be placed in the therapeutic community. You'll have to request it as well. There's to be no residing in households with minors, and the court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison. And of course, give you the credit for any time served. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to.
The defendant's final attempt to ask for reconsideration shows desperation, but legally, once the court's reasoning is locked in, reversing course in that moment is extraordinarily rare. And now the real question shifts to you. Was 4 years fair? Or should the court have taken a chance on probation one last time?
Attorney, do you understand? All right, make sure you make better decisions, because if you come back, you're potentially looking at being charged as a habitual, which would mean your minimum would be 25, okay?
Can I ask one more thing?
Sure.
If you were to be able to reconsider my probation, and I said that I was willing to take the max if I messed up even more, to reconsider.
No, and I will tell you, I won't be the judge who would be deciding that if you were to mess up.